this is really, really important to me. I believe very strongly that public education does not exist for the benefit of parents. And I also believe really, really strongly that public education does not exist for the benefit of children. Public education exists for the benefit of the social order. That's why even though I don't have a child in school, I pay taxes, because it's good for the social order. So, I don't care what parents think at all. I mean, this is the controversial part of my presentation, by the way. Like, you don't like the way that your child is being educated? I'm sorry. Like, as a community, but the fact is, education doesn't exist for you or even for your kid. It exists for me, so that I don't have a bunch of stupid people paying the Social Security when I'm old. The whole reason we have teachers and librarians in the first place is because we got together as a community and we realized that we weren't qualified to make these decisions. So we should train some people to be qualified to make those decisions on our behalf. Those people are called teachers and librarians, and if you trust them to do their jobs, then they will do their jobs. And if you don't think they're doing a good job of doing their jobs, then that's a separate discussion. But you can't go in and say teachers should not be allowed to teach or librarians should not be allowed to curate a collection, because that is what we agreed as a community to hire them to do. We didn't hire them to do anything else. That's the whole thing. So it's very frustrating to me when someone comes in and says, oh, well, you need to take that particular book out of the library, whatever that book is. Like recently this happened to my friend Maureen Johnson, who wrote this extremely innocuous, I mean, I've read it like 4 times and I don't even know what it is that they're upset about. This book called The Bermuda Triangle, and it was removed from this. It's become one of those things like when you Google like what book should I try to get out of my library, Maureen Johnson's book is like top of the list, so people try to get it out of the library. But like every single time that happens, they have my books in the library and no one's asking to remove them, and my books are infinitely dirtier, than Maureen's. And if the people in question read the books, they would, be much more concerned about me than about Maureen. So it's really the vital thing here is that we have already figured out a solution to this problem. We have already figured out a solution to the Penthouse magazine being a bad idea to be taught in American public schools problem, which is that we hire and train teachers to do that work well. And if they're not doing that work well, we fire them. And that's how it works, and it's a pretty effective system. Now, you do get into a problem when you're in a community and they decide that you should be fired for not removing a book from your shelf, which does happen occasionally. Maureen and I both mentioned in the acknowledgments a librarian in Oklahoma who was literally fired for refusing to remove the Bermuda Triangle, which I cannot overemphasize. I don't know what it does. I don't think it contains the word ass.